Hello, everybody. We're going to look at how to factor problems. This is the new thing that we're doing today. I just did it one time and the sound didn't work, so hopefully it works this time. So let's start. To factor a problem, it's pretty much the opposite of distribution. The first thing you want to do is find the greatest common factor. Greatest meaning biggest, common means what they have in common, and factor meaning something that multiplies to get to this term. So we're going to start by factoring the first term, 10. What goes into 10? What can I multiply to get to 10? And 1 is always the easiest one to start. 1 times 10 is going to work. And then we go, all right, what about 2? Well, it's even. 2 goes into any even number. So 10 divided by 2 would be what? 2 goes into 10 5 times. So 2 times 5 will work. 3, does 3 go into 10? 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 doesn't work. 4 doesn't work. And 5 does. And 5 is just back to the original. That would be 5 times 2. So we're done. These are all the factors that you see here. These are all the factors of 10. 1 times 10, 2 times 5, and that's it. Now, what about 20? Let's factor 20. We're going to start with 1 again. And this time we'll do 1 times whatever the number is, 20. Not 1C21 times 20. And 2. How many times does 2 go into 20? Since 20 is even, we know 2 goes into every even number. So that would be 2 times 10. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 6 is 18. That doesn't work. 4 times 5 works. And then we're at 5 times 4. So then now we've hit everything we can. So they're all the factors. The ones that they have in common are the ones that are the same. So you can see that the ones that they have in common are 1, 10, 2, and 5. 1, 2, and 10, and 5. Now, if they only have 1 in common, if there's only the 1 in common, there's nothing you can do. You can't factor it. But these have others. So these are all called common factors. 1, 2, 10, and 5 are common factors. So we want the greatest one. And you notice 1 is a common factor of everything. So it doesn't help us when we're doing this. So we need something other than 1 when we're factoring. So what is my greatest common factor? What is the biggest one? We always have to find the biggest one. So the biggest number here is going to be that they have in common. It's not 20 because I don't have 20 up here. The biggest number they have in common here is 10. So 10 is my greatest common factor. So that's the first step, find the greatest common factor. So then we go to our second step, and we're going to put the greatest common factor outside in parentheses. So I'm just going to put a 10 here, and we're going to make it look like with parentheses inside. Now we need to figure out, what do I put inside the parentheses? I'm going to take this original guy up here, and I'm going to divide each of these terms. I'm going to divide the first 10 by 10, and then I'm going to put the plus sign, and I'm going to divide 20 by 10. Put 10 outside. I'm going to do 10 divided by 10 is 1, and there's an X there, plus 20 divided by 10. Well, I know that 2 times 10 is 20. I already wrote that out. So 20 divided by 10 would be 2. This is called factored form, and this would be the answer. If it asks you to factor something, this would be the answer you would give. But I also want you to check to make sure that you're right. Don't just stop. We're going to check the problem, all right? So we're going to distribute again. And if you remember, we've been doing distribute. 10 times 1 is 10 with the X, plus 10 times 2 is 20. So this became 10x plus 20. Let's check to see if it's the same. Yes, it's the same as what we started with. So this is just my check. This is not your answer. When you're asked for an answer for factoring, it should look like this in factored form. Notice I have other factors that I could use, but they wouldn't be correct because they're not the greatest common factor. I can put a 5 out here, and that'll give me 2x plus 4. And that will still get me to 10x plus 20. Or a 2 is a common factor. See, we had a 2 was the same. We can put a 2 out here, and that would give me 5x plus 10. So these all are equivalent, but I want the one that's the greatest common. So these two wouldn't work if I asked you to factor. So now on this video help section that you're in, there's a Word document that's set up that has the steps. I want you to put this problem in, which would be 60x minus, or let's go plus 60x plus, let's say 42. Now I want you to take this, open up the Word document, and I want you to follow the steps that we just did. You can come back and look at the video again. Follow the steps we did to try to factor this. And then we'll talk about it in class.